Hey everyone, today I'm at Sydney International Airport and I got two flights with Singapore Airlines. First one from Sydney to Singapore and then Singapore to Tokyo Narita. I'm going to check out and show you all the food on board the business class cabin. Before I get on board, I'm going to go check out the Singapore lounge and see what food they have on offer there. Inside the Singapore Airlines SilverKris lounge is a small buffet with a great selection of food and a fully stocked bar. There is a huge selection of salad, soup, and loads of hot dishes. My favourite dish of the day were these delicious smoked hickory drumsticks.
Involved over 4,000 personnel. It's expected to contribute $30 million to the Tonga economy.
Alright, now on to the first flight. I'm flying in business class on Singapore Airlines A380 from Sydney to Singapore with a flight time of around 8 hours. Before takeoff, they serve up a nice glass of champagne. They also ask what you'd like to drink after the plane takes off. In the seat pocket is the business class food menu. On this flight, 2 meals are served. Dinner is served with a starter and a choice of 4 main meals. There is also 2 choices of dessert. Just before landing, a refreshment meal is served with 2 choices. Shortly after takeoff, the drinks are served with a small bowl of nuts. Shortly after, they serve up the meal. The starter was this delicious seafood platter with marinated scallop, prawn, smoked salmon with salad and a balsamic dressing. For the main meal, I chose the beef bulgogi, which was served with rice and japchae, which is a sweet potato starch noodle. The beef bulgogi was delicious, with really tender beef. Now the rice and noodles was a little bit too carb heavy, so I only finished the noodles. Overall, a delicious dish. For a drink with the main meal, I had a classic Singapore sling, which was made with dry gin, Dom Benedictine, orange liqueur, cherry brandy, shaken with lime and pineapple juice, with a dash of bitters and grenadine. This is a must-have if you're visiting Singapore, or if you're flying with Singapore Airlines. Dessert was this delicious raspberry bava cake. This was the star of the meal. It is my experience that with plain food, usually the dessert is the best of the courses. At the end of the meal, I was served a coffee, then they brought out a fruit tray, and I just took on this small bowl of blueberries, and then served up a delicious chocolate. I then had several hours of flying time to watch some movies and sit back and relax. At about 1.5 hours before landing, they served up the refreshment meal. I went for the Indonesian mee goreng fried noodles. This was a great dish with thick egg noodles, which had a nice spicy bite to them. There was nice sized prawns and some squid and leafy greens. I landed in Singapore and had 2.5 hours wait until my next flight from Singapore to Tokyo Haneda. Now, Singapore Airport is the best in the world for food. There is so much to choose from, but after all the excellent food on board, I just had a walk around and then went to the Singapore lounge to relax. The Singapore Airlines lounge at Changi Airport is huge. They have a huge selection of food, which I really wish I had the appetite to try. I was saving myself for the next flight to try the food on board the next Singapore Airlines flight. On to the next flight, which was Singapore Airlines flight SQ638 from Singapore to Tokyo Narita. This was on board the new Boeing Dreamliner 787-10 with a flight time of around 6.5 hours. The usual glass of champagne was served up as soon as I got on board. For this flight, only one meal was served. They asked if I wanted it served up after we took off, or if I'd like to wait and have it in the morning just before we landed. I chose to have it just after takeoff. As soon as we were in the air, they served up another glass of champagne and a bowl of nuts. Shortly after, they served up my meal, which was a bowl of the chicken noodle soup. This was a big bowl of yummy comfort food, and served with a nice bowl of fresh fruit. I managed to get a few hours sleep and woke up about 2 hours before landing in Tokyo. They said there was still time, and if I liked, they could serve up more food. They offered a croissant or a bowl of fruit for breakfast, but I just settled for this coffee and a glass of orange juice. So that is a look at the fantastic food that is served up in business class on Singapore Airlines. I was really impressed with all the food and service on board. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please click on the like button. I have plenty more food videos coming soon, so please subscribe to my channel for notifications of the new videos. And as always, happy eating everyone.